Greetings, adventurer. You've traveled far to be here. Welcome to the Armory. Gear up, adventurers. I'm Riss. Welcome to the first Essential Nerds podcast. Today's episode will take a look at the 2020 Digimon reboot, what we like to refer to as Digitrash, because it's trash, as well as a glimpse of what the original 1999 series was up to. This is my co-host.
I'm Travis. Welcome to the very first Essential Nerds podcast.
So, super exciting. Our main goal today is to talk about Digitrash. This is episode 1 of our Digitrash talk. However, we are currently on episode 5 of the 2020 Digimon reboot, just to clarify.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So before we get into that, let's just back up a little bit, talk a little bit about Essential Nerds and who we are. Just to clarify, we are both essential workers.
Very essential. I myself have been essential since November, the long ago.
Of the long ago.
The before times, pre-apocalypse.
I will beat that. I have been essential for almost 7 years now.
The essential queen, if you will.
I do take
However,
that crown.
I have been nerd for 31 years, so
he does win on that one.
I claim that prize.
So, we both have our experience in both regards. Travis has stuff he wants to share about the community.
Yes, before we get started, definitely not gatekeeping here. Everybody, if you're a fan of the new 2020 Digimon, that's cool. That's fine.
That's great.
I would very much like to know why. Just watching it, I had a plethora of problems. It's a lot of P words right there, back to back, but that's fine.
Yeah, no, the whole point is we are not gatekeeping this community. We want it to be a good community. And, we don't have to agree with everything, and that's perfectly fine. There's things that Travis and I don't agree on, fandom-wise, and that's perfectly fine. We're still friends. We can still, have nice discussions about it. That's the whole point. Open up dialogue, discuss Digimon.
Digital monsters, if you will. So Riss, she is watching from completion of the 2020 series. I have watched Uno episode of the original series, the 1999 series, and I feel like we're at the same spot.
I don't know if we're necessarily at the same spot, but I'll say it's pretty close.
It's pretty close.
The other thing I want to clarify is we are strictly comparing the new reboot with the original, not delving into manga, graphic novels, games, nothing outside the main source material of the original show and the reboot show. We're not going to go into Digimon Try. What is it?
Pretty much just comparison with the first 2 seasons of the show.
And including that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Diaboromon,
yes.
Which we'll get into shortly.
Yes. Alright, so picking back up. When we started the 1999 Digimon, we, of course, get the rockin' song. Everybody knows the good old Digimon song. Don't think you can top it in 2020, but whatever. We get teases of future forms in the openings. It shows all the kids. Not just Ty, not just Matt, every kid. You get, like, this evil shriek, and it shows, like, a Devimon, like, in the background, and he looking all evil. And then the show starts, we got Ty narrating. The thing that I didn't understand about the original is it starts with climate change all over the world, and places are drying up, and cities that are usually hot are freezing, and just various stuff like that. I don't really know how a digital world would affect the real world like this.
Okay, well, in the 2020, the digital world does affect the real world in a similar sense. Not to do with climate change, but more along the lines of there's trains that were going off the rails. There was the power outage. Nuclear bomb got launched. So the digital world actually affected the real world in the sense of computer ran stuff, so I don't know how climate change would affect that.
I feel like eventually, after you get farther on in the show, that happened. I know that definitely happened in the movie. Like, the digital world affects, like, our infrastructure as far as electronics and, you know, satellites and all that goodness, and the way that our electronics interact with each other. But in this one, it just seems like, oh, the internet is going crazy and it makes climate change. So that's a little...
Yeah, I don't think that's how that relates.
A little bit weird, but, you know, the kids are at camp, and it begins to snow, even though it's in the middle of summer, from what I can gather. And Ty goes around, he starts introducing all of his friends, and he gives, you know, basic character traits of all of them. That, you know, that's Matt, he's really cool, and that's Sora, she's a girl. And that's basically all we know about Sora, she's okay. We get to, you know, Izzy, of course, is the little kid, and blah, blah, blah. And we get to Joe, don't scare him, or he will wet his pants. That's a very, very weird thing to describe someone with. But
I mean, I guess that's how that works.
I guess. Good old Joe. More on him later.
Yes, quite a bit more on them. But you said you get all the kids in episode 1?
Yes, every kid.
Wow. Because in episode 1 of the 2020 reboot, you do not actually get all of the kids. Now, people are going to argue with me on that, and they're like, you see them. Okay, but they don't actually talk. They, you get to obviously talk to Ty and Izzy, and that's mainly it. You eventually do talk to Sora and Matt more than Sora, obviously, but however, Joe, glimpse of him in school.
Shocking.
Yeah, Mimi, you get a glimpse of her and what I think is her bedroom, maybe. And then TK is looking out of a window, and Kari is with their mom on the train, which is one of the major plot points for the first episode, because the trains are what's going to, like, run into each other, because the electrical grid system that's controlling them has been affected. And so that's where that ties in. But do they have speaking lines?
They do. Almost every child gets a good little bit of dialogue, and then, you know...
You get to find things out about their characters?
That little, just basic stuff, you know, nerd and girl and cool.
Yeah, just basic stereotypes and
yes,
stuff. Yeah,
yes.
That's understandable, but
yes.
You actually get to, like, meet some of the characters,
yes.
form your, like, thoughts on them.
You learn who your team is. It's not just Ty and Matt.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is Izzy and Ty being introduced first for the new series is what I think is interesting.
Weird.
Very weird. And mainly it's because you said, where did the kids meet?
At camp.
Okay. Well, that's another, I say plot point with, derision over here. Izzy, Ty's got a pack for camp, and Izzy comes up to get help with some type of form application. I don't know if it's something to do with camp or what. Because, again, I did watch episode 1 months ago when it originally came out, before the Rona took it on hiatus. However, Izzy lives in the same apartment complex as Ty and goes and talks to him because he knew Ty had gone to the camp before, so they get information that way. However, the camp has, like, nothing to do with actually any plot of the story. You go to camp for, like, maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes. They do not go to the digital world from camp. Like, that has nothing to do with it. I think the camp was literally just a little, like, nostalgia Easter egg that maintained, like, nothing to the actual story.
The camp doesn't really last long because, you know, the kids run outside after their little brief Ty one trait introduction, and an aurora opens in the sky, and everybody's like, oh, an aurora, and Izzy makes note that they're nowhere near where the aurora should be, so that's odd. And, like, a portal opens out, and some energy shoots out at the kids, and they're all freaking out, but it lands in the snow in front of their feet, and the kids, being kids, of course, reach down and check it out, and lo and behold, Digivices. Okay,
well, Digivices are definitely a thing in this new series. They're updated. They look a little bit different. Ty obviously has one, and early on episode, because we obviously needed it. Eventually, Izzy does get one, and Matt gets one as well before Izzy, I believe. However, Sora actually doesn't get hers until, like, episode 4, I believe, because we're on episode 5 now. Yeah, so Sora gets hers in episode 4, but in a very strange place, because she didn't have it before Bergermon appeared. She got it after Bergermon managed to digivolve.
Because what we're led to believe, and a little bit in the 90s series, is that you have to have those in order to trigger your Digivolution.
Mm-hmm. Now, at the preview, at the very end of episode 5, showing, what's coming in episode 6, you do see... Actually, it's just at the end of episode 5, you see Mimi has her own Digivice. So
maybe they're just... Obviously, we have to shoehorn these in, but maybe they're not as directly tied.
I think they're directly tied because they use them as communicators between each other.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. It was a nice little upgrade to it. So I think they're still using it as a Digivice. You still need the Digivice to, have your Digimon Digivolve. That's a lot of Digis, by the way.
It's true.
But no, you don't really see them being used for a lot of stuff right now. Again, we still don't really know what's going on, so there's a lot to be, shown there. However, you want to talk about the Digimon that show up in the first episode?
Yes, as soon as the Aurora opens and, the Digivices shoot out, they get sucked through the Aurora into the digital world. As soon as they wake up, you get a very, very happy Koromon right there greeting Tai and claims that he's been waiting for him and, that they're partners and that's his Digimon, and Tai is very confused, and Izzy steps out from behind a tree with a little pink thing, as Tai calls it. The Digimons explains that they're in the digital world. That's where they live. They're Digimon. They're their partners. And Izzy comments on all the plant life around the digital world, how it looks like nothing they've ever seen before.
Okay. So, fun fact, you don't actually go into the digital world until, episode 4. Yeah, episode 1, 2, and 3... I take that back. At the very end, I believe, of episode 3, you do get a glimpse of the digital world. But the main part of 1, 2, and the majority of 3, you're in the digital world, but you're not in the digital world. It's a weird in-between area that just seems like an abyss of just random shapes.
Ask Jeeves, I think they called it.
It's something. But yeah, no. And first of all, you're introduced to Agumon. Tai's introduced to Agumon because to get to the digital world, or this weird in-between that they don't really name as far as I'm concerned, Izzy and Tai are together, and then Tai runs faster than Izzy, and then all of a sudden he's in this weird in-between. However, Izzy can still talk to him. So, but yeah, you get an Agumon straight away.
Where did their Digivices come from in the new one? They just kind of have them?
I don't know if it was their phone that became the Digivice.
That's what I was led to believe from the trailer, because, you see the phone and then there's this weird shift and, Digivice.
So I'm not really sure. I'd have to go back and double check on that. But as of right now, Sora, when she gets hers, she didn't have her phone in her hand, and all of a sudden she has a Digivice in her hand. So even if it was how that worked, I don't think it would be.
Inconsistent.
Yeah, but what you're saying is you get introduced to the characters, you get introduced to their Digimon, and they already know their partners and explain it's a digital world.
Yeah, it's the baby form. Well, maybe not the baby form. Whatever is before the rookie form.
Okay.
So the little round, cute and cuddly form.
So the cute ones.
Yes.
Let's be real.
Yes, it's all about the cute.
Yeah, that's one thing I really remember from the first one, and I thought it was really adorable. They have these cute little things, and they eventually digivolve into their rookie forms because they were needed, not just here we already are.
I know you were telling me it's very much, the first couple episodes are very much like the movie that would be to come.
Yes. Don't know if you guys remember the movie, but the main things I remember about the movie are kids in America.
We're the kids. We're the kids.
Angela Anaconda, for anyone that wants a throwback right there. Mimi's in Hawaii for whatever reason, and Willis, who is, an important figure because America.
I was also, as a kid, very, very hyped that we had Willis. I'm like, oh man, there's this new side kid that we never got to meet before. That means there might be, even more kids that can do even more adventures, because, in the show they hinted that there were more children that might have had some partners and some Digivices and whatnot. But I was very hyped for Willis. Plus, Terriermon was awesome.
Yes. Completely agree with that. So, in case you don't remember, the big bad that they had to go into was in the network, which is what I fear is what this weird in-between world is just the network, you know? So they had to fight Diaboromon, who looked like a weird-looking...
It's like if the devil fused with a spider,
Yeah.
and then like Tim Burton created him again.
Just redrew him.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's Diaboromon, and...
I remember the escalation with Diaboromon. Like, all of our friends would go and fight him, and it's like, oh, this isn't enough. We got a champion, and champions weren't enough. So it's like, oh man, we gotta try to jump it up to Ultra, and like Diaboromon just cut them off. He just blasted them.
Yeah.
It knocked them back, and he left.
It was a struggle. It was an actual struggle.
He left to go about his domination of the internet and messing up all our stuff.
Succeeding.
And his quest to find the creator.
Yeah.
Which we turned in, Willis.
Plot twist right there, I guess.
Yes.
But yeah, no, like, it was an actual, like, situation. There was escalations. There was, we usually can defeat this, big bad, but now we can't. We have to be better.
Mm-hmm. We get probably the coolest thing as a kid, Ty and Matt, coming through, without a gate, without a portal, without anything. Like, their connection with their Digimon allowed them to come in and get to them, and that bond brought them together, and they get to fuse into probably the coolest thing of all time, Omnimon.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It showed, how important this bond was, the growth that they had. But it gets wasted in the 2020 reboot because we get Omnimon in like the first second episode. Yeah, not even include that. So you go from Agumon to Greymon with no explanation, and then Matt shows up with Garurumon without any explanation whatsoever. However, he did ask the best question thus far, and it was mainly something like, is this possible, or is that legal? And it was just kind of glossed over.
So they didn't fuse out of friendship, it was just...
No, they didn't even know each other. They literally just met. Matt really didn't want to have anything to do with Ty, honestly. Shocking. And they're trying to fight this thing. And they keep fighting it, and then finally, magic feathers. Ooh, then Omnimon. Like, no explanation, no friendship, no bond, nothing to, like, warrant this escalation.
And to specify, the thing that they're fighting looks mostly like Omnimon. Or like Diaboromon, I apologize. It's slightly different. Apparently it's its own Digimon that you don't ever see throughout the original run of the show. But it's more or less Diaboromon. The Diaboromon story.
It's Diaboromon.
Yes.
Without being Diaboromon.
And without Willis.
Exactly. And so we just get Omnimon for no apparent reason. However, jumping forward to episode 5, when they mention Omnimon, Agumon, who's there, is very confused about what they're talking about because something is mentioned about
the white
Digimon. And Agumon's like, what? And Tai is shocked that Agumon doesn't remember that happened. So I'm hoping that's explained because that is a huge question I have. If you already have Omnimon, and you backtrack to where Agumon, and I'm assuming Gabumon, thank you, don't remember this happening, are they going to then form bonds and be able to do it, even though they've already done it? Or is it the fact that they've already done it, therefore they know they can do it?
I'm wondering if it's like a retcon every time for them as characters. It's like, oh, we did this great, amazing thing through friendship and strife and magic feathers, apparently, but now we don't know how to do it again, so we have to try to get to it.
I guess.
It also kind of devalues anything that's going to come after this now, because why should the team or why should any forms after this matter? Like, obviously, you're going to get your Digivolutions later on, but why are they going to be important now if you've already had Omnimon and you know what the end game is?
Yeah, like the most powerful, like, fusion to ever come out of it, I think, right?
I'm not sure on that one.
Well, I would like to think so.
I would like to think so as well. I'm sure there's more, and I'm sure we'll get corrected in the comments, which
is perfectly fine. fine. We appreciate it.
Yes, definitely. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the show. It's just this reboot got some stuff that's questionable.
Yeah, anything else you want to say about the original?
It's just a lot of stuff that's a lot of the same about the new one. You know, they get chased by some evil Digimons who are apparently savage for whatever reason. But we do learn eventually why they are savage. They do some hiding. They meet back up with the kids one at a time and reintroduce, their Digimon and their pals. And then old Joe come running in. He's screaming because, Ukamon won't leave him alone.
I do also want to clarify something else. You're watching the original in English, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I am watching the reboot and with subtitles. So it's simulcast from Japan. So there might be some terms that are not used simultaneously based on translation currently. Just wanted to go ahead and clarify that.
Maybe there'll be a little bit more extra stuff that smooths some of it out.
Hopefully. So one of the other things that I wanted to address is that for whatever reason, Tai can read this ancient script that's written on like some ancient ruins in the digital world, because Sora and Tai are in the digital world.
And this is after the big Omnimon, not
Diaboromon
this is after,
fight. Yeah. Matt and Tai, along with Omnimon, defeat Diaboromon, or not Diaboromon. They defeat not Diaboromon, and go on their merry way and wind up back in the real world. You never see Matt again. I've yet to see Matt since that. And Tai and Izzy just go about their days, and
Joe is probably in school.
And then fast forward to, oh no, stuff's going down, and Izzy calls Tai, to tell him about it, and Tai goes off running to get to Izzy, and Sora is walking past him and takes off running after Tai for whatever reason, and then they're transported.
It's, hey friend that I've never met before, you look like we could be nice. I'm going to tag along.
Sora and Tai actually know each other. They're in school together. They do address that briefly beforehand, so I will give them that. They are friends.
Okay.
But still, it seems very strange that Tai takes off running and therefore Sora just takes off running after him. So they actually go to the digital world together.
Oh. Convenient.
Yes. Where, guess what? Agumon's there. That's it. There's... I will give them that the setting of the digital world looks really pretty. Like the first scene you got like beautiful like water looking stuff. It's just really pretty.
I know for hours as soon as we land, we're in like a weird forest. I know Izzy makes some remarks that it doesn't look like Earth. And then, Tai climbs up a tree and he gets his surroundings and he sees like it's basically an island. They're surrounded by water. There's a mountain in the background and there's various rivers flowing through the woods and all that.
Yeah, nothing like that. Nope. No. Not at all. Izzy, however, is elsewhere and can still communicate with Tai and Sora. So there's that. But that's all the characters you get. Like, these are the 3 characters you get to hear about, you get to talk to, you get to go between their what's happening with Tai and Sora versus what's happening with Izzy, and that's pretty much it.
Do the kids get attacked by some savagery?
Yes, but they're called wild Digimon. So originally, they're walking through this forest area because they have to get to this glowy rainbow-looking mountain because that's what the ancient language told Tai. It said, follow the light, and then his Digivice lit up, shot a light beam, went to this rainbow-looking mountain in the distance. So they're like, okay, I guess we gotta go there. Makes sense.
He's got to race Mario on the Rainbow Bridge.
I guess. So about that time... some bushes rustle, and then you get a little cute Biomon with, by the way, weird question. Did they have a metal chain bracelet? It's not a chain, it's like a bracelet on their leg.
The Digimon or the Digidestined?
The Digimon. Biomon.
Biomon. I think so. I think she had it on one leg.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify and not think it was weird. So she escapes this other Digimon that I did not write down, but basically looks like a weird-looking Scyther. Let's be real. So I think I called it Scythermon. I know it's not its name. And Agumon mentions that it obviously thinks that they're stealing its food, which leads me to question, do Digimon eat other Digimon? Like, are they cannibals? Like, what's going on?
See, that bit bothers me, because I know in the original, when they came to our world, they ate our food, but that's because they were real then. Like, in the digital world, I felt like they were, like fish and basic birds and stuff like that, but...
Also, why are there fish and basic birds in the digital world?
Truth. Like, the one thing that these do kind of mirror each other is our kids also get attacked, but they get attacked by Kuwagamon. He's like a beetle pincery looking mon, and he can fly.
Because that makes sense.
Yes.
So the kids take off running, get to a cliff and where water's under it, and jump off to get away from this wild Digimon.
Ooh, our kids also run to a cliff, but we get a little bit more than that. We get ambushed by Kuwagamon. All the kids are met up, and Tai wants to stand and fight, but none of the others really want to. Kuwagamon charges them, almost takes their head off, and all the Digimon decide, hey, we have to defend our partners. They need us. So they charge them together. They're shooting their little baby attacks, and some Digivolution gets triggered.
Aww.
Because the partners need them.
Okay.
So we get all of our rookie forms, and we think they vanquish Kuwagamon, but he comes back and he slams into the thing they're standing on, and the cliff breaks off, and they fall into the river, and that's the end of episode 1.
Okay. All right. See, that makes sense. So following on to after they get through the water, okay, so they wash up downriver, and Biomon's pretty much passed out. But Sora had went shopping beforehand, and when she got transported to the digital world, she still had her shopping bag with her. And guess what was in the shopping bag?
I just want to take a moment and acknowledge the fact that wherever Sora's shopping, these shopping bags are on point. Because my shopping bags will barely hold like a 2 liter of Mountain Dew. That thing will rip as I'm trying to get it from the car to the porch, and it busts everywhere.
Yeah, this has already been through a lot.
So props to Sora. It survived transportation to a digital world whilst holding her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It survived a Digimon attack. It survived falling into the water and washing on shore.
Yes, where she still had a hold of it the entire time.
I'm telling you, these Costco bags...
Not what's happening. So, plot twist, what's in the shopping bag is a bunch of survival gear.
Shock.
I know.
Convenient.
Super convenient. So, she gives Tai this knife-looking thing and some rope, and Tai and Agumon go running off to cut down some trees to make a raft, because that's what they've decided to do, because they realize the river should take them to the glowy Rainbow Mountain.
So are the trees in the 2021 made of paper mache?
Oh, no, they're trees.
We do get an instance in the first episode of the 90s show where they first come upon Kuwagamon and they're hiding from him. The kids hide in a fake tree.
A fake tree?
They just walk through it like it's platform 9 3/4 at Hogwarts. Yes. So they walk into it, and the inside of the tree looks metal and steely, and they're just hiding. They're all hunkered down, and he flies over and leaves them alone. So that was a little bit confusing. I didn't know if all trees were invisible walkie-through trees.
Well, you said he climbed a tree at one
That's
point,
true,
right?
he
So
did.
it couldn't be all trees.
That's true.
Is
And
that tree maybe?
is it just this tree? And how
Just
would you
super
find out
convenient
about
tree?
this tree? Yeah, and they're just
plot convenience
Kuwagamon.
tree.
It is, and Kuwagamon doesn't know about this tree. I mean,
No, obviously it's plot convenience tree.
it's true. I mean, I guess he is under a spell or whatever Devimon used. Devimon used gears, I think.
I believe so. Dark Gears?
Yes.
Yes. Which we'll get into what our Digimon get involved with here in a minute. So, after they're on their little raft, plot twist, there's a shadow under them.
Uh-oh.
It's Sealamon. I actually know this one because I was intrigued by this Digimon. So Sealamon, and they once again mention that they think it's food. They think they're food for this Digimon, and I'm like, okay.
This is our second cannibal attack.
Second cannibal attack. So during this time, we do get where Agumon does Digivolve into Greymon to fight off Sealamon. Oh, I do want to say they did have to go down some rapids beforehand because they were on a raft. Because what? What else are you going to do?
Yep.
So while Agumon is fighting Sealamon, oh no, the other wild Digimon shows back up and snatches Biyomon up and like straight up looks like it's about to eat it. But plot twist, Sora also is on this Digimon now, and the size of the Digimon doesn't make any sense. I feel like it changes a lot. And and Sora goes to save Biyomon and attacks the wild Digimon, and that's about the time that Biyomon realizes she has to save Sora and digivolves into Birdramon.
This is non-Digivice at the moment.
None. So Sora is with Birdramon now with a Digivice in her hand.
Huh.
All of a sudden. It just appeared out of nowhere. Of course, they defeat the wild Digimon, and Agumon is Agumon again. Greymon turns into Agumon. He's like, oh, I rested for a moment and relaxed and turned back into Agumon. Like he didn't understand what had happened. While Birdramon is still Birdramon, and they realize they can fly towards the mountain because of Birdramon. So they hurry to do that.
So Birdramon, also fighting things, has a little bit more stamina left than Agumon.
Doesn't really clarify on that one in this episode.
A little strange, but...
Yeah. So then, episode 5, we get, Tintamon, and we do get Kabuterimon.
Oh, very nice.
But you have no idea how Tintamon and Izzy meet. They met in the previous episode 4.
Off-screen.
And Izzy talks to Tai through the Digidevice because they can still communicate, and Izzy in the weird networky area, which is what I'm going to call the in-between until we find an actual name. I'm just going to call it the network. Is got really good signal, so he can still communicate with whoever. And so we see Tintamon and Izzy, but no idea how they meet. And then at the end of that episode, they get swallowed by Wellmon.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
I feel like Wellmon was our friend in the original series, but I don't remember.
Well, this leads me to question why there are Digimon in the digital world, and why there are Digimon in this weird network area. And Sealamon was swimming in the river, right? But Wellmon is just swimming through air in the network. Just floating around, swimming through air. It didn't make sense. So Izzy and Tintamon get swallowed into Wellmon, and then what feels like a weird Finding Nemo flashback, honestly. They tickle the little, what is that, the uvula?
It's his tonsils. They tickle the tonsils.
Okay.
Tonsil tickling.
Tonsil tickling?
Tonsil tickling.
That sounds weird.
It does.
Anyway,
probably
then
doesn't
they
feel good.
Get spat out through the blowhole.
Pinocchio style.
Very. It's strange. During this time, they are attacked by Tylomon, which is a weird bird shark pedo, like a sharknado, but not a sharknado, like a torpedo, so a sharkpedo.
So we're just getting like random bits of kids and random bits of, hey, here's my partner, and now we're going to digivolve.
Well, this is still Tintamon right now. Tintamon tells Izzy that Tylomon is dangerous. So we get Tintamon digivolving to protect Izzy, so he becomes Kabuterimon, because, that makes sense. At this time, Izzy, before Tintamon does digivolve into Kabuterimon, Izzy figures out that Tylomon are after them, and they need to get away, and tells Wellmon that it's their chance to run. And that's about the same time we see the weird Echo Bat thing, which I believe is controlling the Tylomon. The Echo Bat thing actually has a name. It's called Soundbirdmon.
That is probably the worst named Digimon I've ever heard.
It uses sound to cause mischief. So while Kabuterimon is fighting off the Tylomons, we flash back over to Sora and Tai, who had been getting a history lesson from a feather.
Is this the same feather that made Omnimon?
I hope not.
That's a little weird. Because I was assuming the Omnimon feather was either Anjumon or Anjuwoman's, like a sign of things to come.
I think this is another, holy Digimon. Probably. So basically, this weird feather turns into this, memory of a Digimon, is what it looks like to me. They're in these really cool ruins, I'm going to be honest. It is cool, you see some stuff, and you're like, okay. So this Digimon, ancient Digimon of some sort, gives them a history lesson about the darkness in the before times, a long time ago, how dark and light battled each other, and how I have so many notes.
I will say, I didn't want to watch much of the 2020 show, so it didn't skew my opinion of the original on rewatch, but I did watch this bit on YouTube, and I thought it looked really cool. I thought all of the Holy Digimon looked pretty awesome, because you see some shadows, and you recognize some of them. Obviously, you recognize Seraphimon, and you recognize Willis's Kokomons? Pure Mega Digivolution? I don't remember what it was called. But you see that and you recognize it because it looks like a little clown, and you see some other little stuff, and you see that flash of Devimon. Mm-hmm. Finally, 5 to 6 episodes later, you have a villain. And yeah, okay. you get to see the kids, Digimon's flashbacks as Megas, and...
Yeah, you're right. The flashback is, you shadowed things that you, like, as a fan from the original would recognize and be excited for. So the feather tells them that the darkness was defeated and the existence was also changed and everything. And Agumon and Biyomon are crying, and I have a theory that I would like to propose that because Digimon are actually just, digital code, let's be real, that I think they're crying because it's in their code that they were these Digimon from the long, long ago.
Just reincarnated.
Just reincarnated. Yeah, the same code, it's just a hidden piece. That's my theory on it.
That's what I was thinking after watching it, because, in the original, when Anjumon saves TK from Devimon, he, Quotey Fingers, dies, and he's reborn in an egg, and it's Patamon again, and yay, we can all rejoice.
Yeah.
That's what I was assuming.
Okay, so it says, ones who possess the power to resurrect the warriors' souls and guide them will end their infancy and grow and mature. This is the life of a Digimon. And all who were born within the digital world follow the law of evolution. Evolution will eventually reach completion, but will continue further into infinite boundaries. So that's what the feather basically was telling them, the backstory, the history. And as our lives come to an end, we have a mysterious provision, a power that surpasses the law of evolution. The ones who descend to this world with the Digivice's light in their hands. So we get, some information there.
Some prophecy.
Prophecy, because the kids are the chosen ones. We know it.
Yes.
The human children who fight and walk beside Digimon, they are our last hope who can protect the world after we perish. And, beware, the network born from human hands connects the digital world and the human world, which is why I want to call that weird in-between world the network.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's the territory where our eyes can't reach. Its darkness can't be stopped, and its effects will spread through the network and bring disaster to the human world. That's why I think it's in between.
So that makes more sense. The digital world is connected to our infrastructure, the internet and all of our electronics and everything that's online that people are connected to. So what happens there affects our world. It makes sense. It makes sense as far as the Not Diaboromon story goes, and it makes a hell of a lot more sense than climate change.
Yeah. So then the feather tells them what they have to do next. It says, to win against the darkness, I will state that you must accomplish... I will state what you must accomplish. Set out from here, cross the sea, and aim for the continent. There you will meet the light and hope who fight amongst warriors, the Holy Digimon. Yeah. So apparently Cloud Continent, and that's where the Holy Digimon are. So this is when Tai and Sora get attacked by a weird spider-looking thing, which is called Dokugumon. So Dokugumon got them trapped by this weird... I apologize for the strange sound. Dokugumon has them trapped by a spider web, and then Biyomon digivolves into Bergermon, and they get out, and then it's Agumon's turn, so he gets to transform into Greymon to fight them.
We can't have an episode without Tai and Agumon doing something.
It's true. They also get a really cool transformation sequence, but I want to specify that Agumon gets the best one. So basically he got the Sailor Moon transformation sequence.
Oh yes, the leader gets the best one. He is the Goku, he's the Pikachu, he's our leader.
Exactly. So then, after that little short fight, Tai and Sora escape with no exclamation, but thanks, Biyomon. That's how they escape after they fight the spiders, the Dokugumon. And they're just now elsewhere, somewhere completely not where they were.
That seems like a lot of dump to have in one episode, because I know in the original, each episode after the first, it's like, and here's Greymon's episode and a Garurumon episode, and then, once all of our kids have unlocked their champion level, then we get a little bit more story, and, Devimon's pulling the strings.
We do get a picture, or like a scene where you see Devimon.
Mm-hmm.
We do at least get that.
That's true.
So then we didn't get the whole story from the Feather. We just didn't. I will say there was some really cute banter between Kabuterimon and Izzy. I just really enjoyed their relationship, even though it doesn't feel like their relationship should be where it's at right now, but it's still cute.
Rewatching the original, as a kid, I never really liked Izzy and Tentomon that much. But now as an adult rewatching, I'm like, yes, I want more of them. He's the guy that knows what's going on. He's the guy that's going to figure stuff out. Plus, Tentomon's a beetle, and beetles are awesome.
See, I'm a little bit worried about watching this new series because my favorite character is coming up in the next episode, and I'm concerned with what they're going to do with her. Because they didn't really do a good job with her in the original, so I can only hope that they do something better with her now.
Yes.
And in case you didn't realize, that would be Mimi and Palmon. I will say, before the kids are already gone, the Feather is still there, and the last thing the Feather says is, "We trust in you, the chosen ones," and then it disappears in a sparkle of shower.
The one thing that I don't like from all this backstory that our magical Feather gives us is, whilst it's cool for the Digimon to see all their megas in shadow, I kind of feel like it kind of renders stuff null and void. It's like, whatever forms they're going to get next, it doesn't really matter because they're not these shadowy forms. We can tell these look nothing like these shadowy forms, and these shadowy forms are what we need to get.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes some of the suspense out because...
It can. It just feels very fast-paced. Like, this whole series just is so, like... I don't even want to say it's an information dump. It's just like things get thrown at you. Fast-paced. And in case you guys don't read the blog, I did mention on our website, I broke it down. The time for the episode is only about 18 minutes total out of a almost 23-minute episode. Because the opening takes a moment to preview the episode you're about to watch. And then it goes into the theme song, the opening song. Then it also recaps the previous episodes. Or just at least the previous episode, which you don't really need. And every time the Digimon get first shown on the screen, you get their name. So we already know who Agumon is, yet when it pans to Agumon for the first time, you still get Agumon's name on the screen.
I feel like it's that weird, back when we were kids, like the Power Rangers, it's like, the Power Rangers all have to be in their colors because the kids can't tell them apart. So it's like, children's memories aren't this bad. Like, they're going to know, they're going to remember what happened last episode, and obviously the fans that this is meant to bring that nostalgia pop in are going to remember what happened last episode.
Yeah, it feels unnecessary, and I get really annoyed by it. And I'm not going to lie, I skip through it because I get more annoyed by it every second that it's on. At the end of the episode, you get a minute-long ending song, which the opening theme is predominantly about Tai.
Oh.
And the ending, actually, is mostly about Matt. And then after that, short little minute or so ending, you get a preview for the next episode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The opening for the original is also about a minute long. The ending credit sequence is about 30 seconds long. The overall episode was clocked in at about 20 minutes, 50-some seconds. So it's maybe about a good 18, 19 minutes worth of actual episode.
I just feel like you get more story, maybe. And even if you don't get more story, I feel like you get more character development, which is something I'm a little bit concerned with a lot of reboots recently, because I've watched another reboot, Sorcerer, Stabber, Orphan, which I hope to talk about at another time, but it also was very fast-paced as well. It just didn't feel like your characters are built up the same way they were originally. And I feel like that's what's happening with Digimon. It's going too fast. It's too fast-paced. So much is happening. I don't feel like it actually is able to have a foundation to base, hey, here's who these characters are. I can tell you stuff about Tai, just strictly based off of this new show, this new reboot, but honestly, what I can tell you about him, it doesn't really pertain to his character. You and I know what their crests are. We understand what the crests are for, and we understand why their crests are what their crests are. However, none of that, and I can understand it not being explained yet, but it doesn't feel like, hey, Sora loved Biomon, so
It triggered
love.
some evolution, yeah.
Now, I will say, Biyomon went to save Sora because Sora has proven, at least a couple of times in the span that they've known each other, that, she's trying to protect them. So, yeah, okay. But I don't know if it would be love. And then Tai and Agumon, that's courage, and I don't feel like there's anything indicating that there's any courage needed at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Izzy just doesn't even address his at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
And what is his crest?
His is knowledge.
Yeah, okay, well, I don't know how knowledge helps in pertaining to...
getting out of a whale's stomach.
Getting...
Well, maybe tickling the tonsils again.
I guess.
Maybe.
So you just need
the tonsil
knowledge.
tickling. It got him out of there.
Yeah.
Had he not known that knowledge, they wouldn't have got Pinocchio.
Yeah, they would still be in Wellmont, and nothing would have happened.
It's true. I feel like the old one, at least, like you have a sense of maybe escalation, and you definitely have a greater sense of earning all of this stuff because you have to earn your champion level, and then you get your crests, and you have to embody all of that, and you have to earn that with your Digimon partner because Tai tries to just force it, and of course we know Skull Greymon comes along, and that's not good.
Yeah. The other thing about the crest is that the kids didn't necessarily embody what those crests were in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't what they were. Like, yes, they had aspects of it, but they had to embody it. So they had to grow as the children themselves had to grow as characters to be able to better embody those specific qualities.
TK, we're looking at you. That was the best part of that show as a kid. Anjumon's not doing anything. You're like, oh my god, Anjumon, come on, please. The very, very last confrontation with Piedmon. Here's TK. And he's rallying. He's not going to give up. And he's talking to Matt, who got turned into a keychain, but that's neither here nor there. And he's not going to give up. He's going to remain hopeful. And his crest of hope activates. And we get Magna Anjumon, who is the coolest of all time.
I'm not going to dispute that. But it just seems like, they have to embody the crest for it to matter.
Yes. That's why that's why I like Tai. You can't force your evolution through anger or this, that, or the other.
Right, it's corrupted. It's a corrupted data file at that point, right?
I would think so.
Yeah. If something happens, it's corrupted, hands down. Now, I think the last thing I want to talk about this episode is Ogremon.
Oh, yes.
We get Ogremon flying on a purple dragon with 4 green dragon minions, I guess?
Ogremon is the father of dragons.
That's decided. Ogremon, Father of Dragons 2020.
Hashtag Father of Dragons. Make it trend.
All right, so I think we're going to start wrapping up here in a minute. And 2020 has had a lot going on for it. Let's just do a quick little recount because, there's a plague happening.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not forget that the beginning of the year started with the Australian wildfires. That was a thing. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but that happened. There was also quite a few other things that went down. Mostly, I think everyone remembers quarantine and lockdown. Not us, because we were at work.
Oh, yes. Essential life.
Always essential life. I would like to take a moment of silence for all the things that we are missing out on this year for it being canceled for whatever reason. So... thank you for that. But Travis had something he wanted to address about, the fact that murder hornets were thrown in there for no reason whatsoever.
It's true. The good old murder hornets. They didn't become a thing. Not like we were hoping.
No.
Yeah.
But who would have been prepared for this?
You know who would have been prepared for this? Joe. Joe would have been prepared for this. If you think back, I gave Joe some guff growing up. He was my least favorite character because he was never helping. He was always in school.
He didn't seem to care.
He was not as reliable as he should have been.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Joe, secretly, in the original run of the show, was the only one that knew. He knew what was coming. He knew that Matt and Ty were going to be the only ones that got to do anything. He knew that the show was going to be rebooted anyway, and what did he do? He focused on his education. That's why he was always in school and never helping fight, because, Ty and Matt got this, we're going to get rebooted anyway, so might as well get my doctorate and, be wealthy beyond my wildest dreams.
Do something with his life.
It's true.
Obviously, he couldn't do something with his Digimon, so
Yeah,
instead,
right.
He stayed in school.
Go, Mom, come be my partner. We can be friends.
Yeah. I mean, we both gave Joe a lot of grief, but we have to respect him now. Like, going forward,
He knew.
He knew. And I think he would have honestly been prepared for 2020.
He would have. I mean, if not, then he would at least make an A+ on his tests.
Yeah.
What few tests he got to take this year.
It's true. It's true.
Thanks for sticking with us through our Landmark podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Essential Nerds. Check out our website, essentialnerds.com. If you enjoyed our shenanigans, leave a comment, give us a like, hit subscribe, and don't forget to tell your friends and your local mail carrier.